Hey, what's going on, triathlon fans? Ryan here, setthebasetriathlon.com. I want to get this video out to talk about Mortal Hydration's coming out for the Ironman courses. I will say I've done 70.3 Des Moines, as you see on the hat, this year in 2024, where they have partnered with Mortal to be on the course. Right now for 70.3 Des Moines, a couple other events, they've got both on course. So if you want to try Mortal, or if you want to stay with Gatorade Endurance, is what typically they have on like the run course at least, and on the bike course in the bottles, then you will still see that up until 70.3 Muncie and Ironman Lake Placid. After those, they will go to 100% Mortal on course. Interesting thing about Mortal Hydration, when you look at it, you go on the Ironman website, when you look it up and you click on the link, it takes you straight to the feed.com, and that is where you can purchase it. So I did a little poking around, and in the short term, the only place I could find it was on the feed.com. It's not on Amazon, it's not on, if you go to the actual website, it's a little bit, I would say bare bones as far as the hydration side goes. So it's interesting, they don't have much information about their product on their actual website. All the nutrition information I got was off the feed.com. So it's a little bit interesting, you go to Gatorade, and obviously they're a huge, I think they're owned by Pepsi Corp or whatever. They've got their own little website, it's not little, and they've got their own website, their own products, and Gatorade Endurance is just one of many products that they sell. So it's a little bit different in regards of the corporate aspect that Gatorade has got, the website, the production, they're in stores, they're online, they're on Amazon, they're everywhere. Whereas Mortal Hydration, you have to either get it at thefeed.com or you can get it at the Ironman Village, which my son actually tried that out. We tried a little bit of it. It wasn't horrible tasting anyway, but so it was a little bit interesting as far as the purchasing, where you can get it from and the availability of it, and kind of the corporate feel. Gatorade's got that corporate feel where Mortal Hydration's got put together in their garage kind of feel. There is a difference in the nutrition stuff. It's not a one-for-one substitution. So if you are using Gatorade Endurance, which I highly like Gatorade Endurance because I need that little extra sodium kick. It really helps me out. And when I go to the run, usually I'm kind of liquid only. I can't handle solids. It just kind of builds up in the gut and causes problems. So I get most of my hydration and nutrition and carbs and everything from the Gatorade Endurance on the course, on the run course. So just looking at single serving, what Mortal states for their single serving on the feed.com is where I got this information. So it's 40 calories, 400 milligrams of sodium, and I'll just compare that to Gatorade Endurance. It's typically what, as you can see, there's background noise here. Gatorade Endurance, one serving is 90 calories and 310 milligrams of sodium. So you're getting a little bit more of sodium with just Mortal Hydration, but where they kind of fall short of 8 grams of carb per serving versus 23 with Gatorade Endurance. Potassium, 150 for Mortal, 140 for Gatorade. Magnesium, 25 for Mortal and 0 for Gatorade Endurance, which will fall back on that one. And they both have 20 milligrams of calcium. So what I do find important or noticeable difference is the magnesium is Gatorade Endurance. I've recently added magnesium to just my daily supplementation. But if you're looking for a little bit of magnesium in your race day hydration, your training, you do a little bit of research, and magnesium is important, at least in the everyday activities. So if you're not getting it in your hydration mix and stuff like that for, when you're out there training a race or anything like that, you may want to consider doing some supplementation. So that's kind of, I guess you can say that's a win for Mortal Hydration, and they've got magnesium where Gatorade Endurance has none. I don't know if you want to call that a win or whatever you want to call it, but just an important notice. So definitely a difference in the carbs, difference in magnesium, and difference in the calories. It's almost double. But what's important is if you double your serving for Mortal, then you match calories pretty close. You do get 900 milligrams of sodium versus 310, so you got to be aware of that. You get 16 grams of carb versus 23 then, but you double the potassium to 300 milligrams versus 140 for Gatorade Endurance. And the magnesium, you're going to double it to 50 milligrams per serving instead of 0 in Gatorade. So the important key there is if you think, oh, well, I'll just double my serving or whatever, if you do that, you're going to get a lot more sodium, you're going to get a lot more magnesium, you're going to get a lot more calcium, you're going to get a lot more potassium. So that's going to be important to see how that's going to affect your gut. So definitely, if that's your plan, go out there and try it on training and double the serving and see how your gut reacts, especially on those long rides and a brick run afterwards. Because if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, you may be looking for water probably kind of early on the run, and it may kind of derail your race a little bit. So if you think you're just going to double the serving, just be aware you're doubling some other stuff besides just the carbs and the calories. So do be aware of that. I also found it interesting. I dug around a little bit, because I was always interested in the ingredients that they list on there, because some of the stuff is stuff I've never heard of, and I'm sure it's a complicated name for stuff out there that, when you boil it down, I just didn't have the time to go back and research what all these little ingredients are and what necessarily they're there for. But Mortal's got dextrose, sugar, trisodium citrate, sodium chloride, I can't even pronounce some of this stuff. Magnesium glycinate, it's got stevia, which I kind of use that for my coffee, quercetin powder, so stuff I can't even pronounce, didn't look on the pronunciation, but Gatorade Endurance, they got maltodextrin, fructose, sodium citrate, monopotassium phosphate, calcium lactate, calcium silicate, gum arabic, and magnesium oxide. So they've got their fair share of stuff in there too. So both of them, there's no real winner, I would say, as far as Mortal's not necessarily, more natural ingredients or simpler ingredients or something like that. They've got some other things in there to add in, either flavoring or consistency, or, trying to get the potassium up, trying to get the carbs up, trying to get the magnesium up in there. So they've got different things in there. So, but just keep that in mind. They do both have kind of ingredients that aren't exactly kind of off-the-shelf items you're thinking of. So those are the quick points I wanted to bring up. So the key points, I think, after you kind of dig into the details of each one of these drinks, the things you want to pay attention to the most is Mortal hydration you can only get on thefeed.com, or you can get at the Ironman Village. So you really can't go out to a store. You can't go on Amazon and get it. The feed's pretty convenient, so you can get it there, but just beware, you're not going to be able to go into your local store and get some. So if you're training with that, you need to make sure you're staying ahead of the game and making sure you're staying supplied, just because you can't go to Amazon.com and just drop it one day shipping and get the next day. So just beware of that. Another key point is after 73 Muncie and after Lake Placid, they are dropping Gatorade Endurance. You can double the serving of the Mortal Hydration, but you just have to be careful because you're doubling calcium, potassium, sodium. So you can double what you would need or what you're getting out of Gatorade Endurance. So if you have a sensitive stomach, you have GI issues on the run, that could be an important factor to know about. Just make sure you're testing that in your training. So if you're not going to double that, just be aware that you're getting half the carbs. So if you're counting on Gatorade Endurance to get your carbs in, half the calories, you're getting half the carbs. You are getting more magnesium, but you're getting pretty similar as far as sodium, a little bit less in the sodium category. So just be aware that we're actually getting a little bit more Mortal Hydration for the sodium. So just be aware that is a little bit different. It's not a 1-for-1 substitution. So if you're going to have to make up that difference, if you're not going to double the Mortal Hydration intake, you're going to have to maybe adjust with maybe taking solids or more solids on the bike to try to build up the carb stores for the run, or bringing your own hydration mix and sports drink or something like that on the run. And the long distances have like Red Bull, they've got flat Coke and stuff, so you can get some kind of simple sugars and carbs in that way. But just be aware of that if you're going to use a single serving of Morton, you're going to have to make up for the loss of calories and loss of carbs for sure, to make sure that you can stay up on your nutrition plan, especially for the longer races. So just be aware of that. Just be aware that Mortal Hydration is not more simple ingredients than Gatorade Endurance. They both have kind of unpronounceable ingredients mixed in there, so not all they're not necessarily, I would say, more organic or anything like that. So just be aware that they both contain things that you probably couldn't pronounce and don't know what they mean unless you Google them. So just be aware of that. And the key is Mortal and Gatorade Endurance, they're on race courses, are not a 1-for-1 substitution. So I think that's a big key, big takeaway that people need to know. So you need to do your research. You need to test out the Mortal Hydration. If that's what you're going to use, you're going to use stuff on course. Just be aware that it's not a 1-for-1 substitution. So if you need those carbs, you need those calories out of your sports drink when you're on the course, you're going to have to come up with a different plan of action, whether it be doubling how much you're drinking on the course, or bringing your own sports drink or your own mix or something like that to put in water or something like that. You bring your own pouch of Gatorade Endurance, grab a cup of water, an aid station, throw it in there, mix it up, and drink it real quick. You can definitely do that. So there's nothing that says you can't do that. So just have a plan. Is the basic moral of the story. Make sure that you are aware. It's not a 1 for 1. Make sure you plan for it on race day, and whatever your plan is, make sure you're testing it out your training. So with that, I want to wrap up this video. So hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully it got you some information, at least up your awareness about mortal hydration on the course. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, queries, or quagmires, put them in the comments, and I will get back to you and help you out as much as possible. Until the next video, see you next time.